Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here, and we're playing Hearts of Iron 4 France. This is not going to be a long series, I think, for two reasons. One, not sure how many episodes I am going to make, but we're going to get started here. And two, we're probably going to be defeated by Germany. Though we did stand them down over the Rhineland, which does make a lot of difference to Germany. They don't get to build the West Wall here, if my understanding of the way it works. They still get West Wall events, but if it's programmed anything like it is on the other, as we can see here and here, bunkers, but no bunkers here. The West Wall events that give you the West Wall will exclude the Rhineland if it's demilitarized. So that will change our war with Germany. We might be able to push up and take some of this territory while keeping a good defensive line back here. We will see. Okay, better research. That opens up that, but we need to stay focused on no. Now what? Let's go with medium bombers, and let's look. Well, no, we need to look over here, I think. Okay, we want to do this. Yes, we're just big enough to be beneficial by that. As you can see here, we have these really massive negative effects of this. Land doctrine research time plus 75%. There is a way to remove that. We are not working on that yet because we are going to do this to try to get more civilian factories faster. Increase unemployment. Maybe it will affect disinflation. I doubt it, but fortunately it's not affecting us too greatly. Okay, we got through those early build ships. Italy took Abyssinia. Okay, the communist movement in France, fueled by a broad disaffection among the working class, and the radical trends among academics, has grown large enough to lead to the formation of several parties. After one of these has gained considerable support in the current elections, politicians in the Parti Radical have started debating whether or not to seek their support in forming a government, although they consider our democratic institutions to be little more than bourgeoisie tyranny. They seem eager to make the change they want to see through cooperating with the government rather than overthrowing it. Okay, rather reform than revolution. Broad coalition of democratic parties is preferable. We're going to go with, even though it's going to reduce our national. I'm not a communist. Communism is bad. Communism is evil. I don't want to go down a communist path even a little bit.
Écoutez.
You move up here to defense. Hold the fortress.
Gardez vos rangs. Bougez-vous.
Popular Front wins the election. The Popular Front is the winner of the legislative election and get the majority of the parliament. Okay, gets the majority of the parliament, yes. The alliance of left-wing movements, including French Communist Party, the French section of Workers' International, and the Radical and Socialist parties, announced formation of a government headed by the SFIO leader in Leon Blum. The French hope that Blum's government will implement social reforms to put an end to the current political crisis. Okay. Like is my subtitle for this series, French Folies.
Parlez.
These units aren't even fully equipped currently. Basic machine tools, which will help in that. Getting them equipped, that is. Okay. Ah. Yeah, since we already have this, we'll go down this path.
Écoutez. Bougez-vous. Écoutez. Bougez-vous.
Okay, decrease unemployment, good. National Center for Scientific Research, gain a research slot. That would help us incredibly.
Attention.
I really don't think we're going to be invaded on our Atlantic coast.
Bougez-vous.
Okay. Magnum Agreement? Sorry. Again, my French is bad. After the election of the Popular Front, a massively general strike. I think they just mean a massive general strike of the workers' class breaks out, initiated in Le Havre, that's a port, accompanied by factory occupations to prevent lockouts. Accompanied by factory occupations. Yeah, so they occupy the factories. And had quickly spread to all of France. More than 1 million workers were on strike. The social movement immediately followed the electoral victories of the Popular Front. In order to reach its position of force, the new left-wing government, headed by Leon Blum, negotiated with success social agreements signed at the Hotel Matignon. Just trying to throw in French-sounding words there. All of the workers benefited with these agreements, which was the legal right to strike, paid vacations, 40-hour work week, paid 40-hour work week, paid 48, and the removal, paid 48, and the removal of all obstacles to union organization. 40-hour work week, paid 48. Don't understand that. That 48 work weeks, or is that pay? You're working 40 hours, but you're paid 48? I don't know. Sorry. Unlock the political party trees. Okay. So now we have we can do social reform or this agreement. 35. Action front east. We're not going to go down the far right. Not that that wouldn't have been a possibility. They're really, it's chaotic. I think we're going to go down the status quo, but we'll look at that a little bit. Okay. National unity changes. Our nation's mood is changing for the worse. Okay, so we're losing even more political power. Well, let's look here. Action Française, support the French monarchy. Latin Union. Hello. Annihilism? That's sort of like, I don't know. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name badly. Far right league. Still moving the clock down. Good. And Wallonia. No, I don't think we're going to demand Wallonia or try to do some of this other stuff. Okay, R35 and construction. And let's come over here. I think we're doing reasonably well in resources, so we're going to use our, well, in July. Well, how are we doing on our resources? Fairly decently at the moment. So we're going to wait on that. Let's get HQ radios. Hello, JBC Gammon. Well, we have discussed them. In short, and I can give you an in short, Hearts of Iron 3 Black Ice is a fully developed game that is very rich in texture, okay? It has its limitations. The biggest ones are things like the supply system of Hearts of Iron 3, which Black Ice can't touch. You know, still sucks. The AI is at best okay. It's not as bad as some of the other Hearts of Iron 4 AIs, but combat ones. So it's a fully developed game. The Hearts of Iron 4 Black Ice is a work in progress. So it's doing wonderful things, but it is early days yet. And I think that's sort of the core thing about it. Several of the core developers are the same, and so they have the same vision. I know particularly Panzeru in an online sense relatively well. Maverick, what is it, 87 or something, know him okay, but I know their philosophies from looking at looking at their posts and what they do and chatting with them a little bit, that they want to make a very historical game. So, and they are trying to tailor tank charts and ship charts and whatever you want to call these things, patterns to the historical. So that's some of the basic. If you want a, shall we say, fully realized game, though they're still working mostly oh my god, but still a crew working on Hearts of Iron 3 Black Ice. They're still adding more to it, but it's a fully developed game. That's the biggest things. let's see here. We're going to do reconnaissance infantry equipment. National Spain declares war on Republic in Spain. The Spanish Civil War has erupted in Spain. Now, I would say that they weren't close to a civil war in France during this time period. Tour de France occurred on the 7th of July and the 2nd of August. Belgium won first and third place, while France won second place. But where was Lance Armstrong finishing? Thanks, JBC, if I can just call you that. Where, you know, and as I was saying earlier, there, in my opinion, no realistic idea that there was going to get a Kaiser back in Germany in this period. But there is a realistic possibility, I would say, of a French Civil War. That's something I could see happening. And also, you know, if you sort of like the... And I was saying earlier on, before too many people got here, then it was Awesome Sauce's question about, are they dumbing down Hearts of Iron 4? And I went into that in detail, which you can rewatch later. But I was trying to say that in many ways they are trying to make the requirements of pushing buttons fewer, in the sense that, you know, you don't have to do as much micromanaging as look at all those consumer goods we now have. So need to add more. So with trying to having as actually more detailed, you know, combat calculations between units. There are more, shall we say, variables, factors, whatever, when it's calculating how well these battling be more in 4 than in 3. Though a lot of that, unless you really slow down and look at it, is not seen by the player. So it seems simpler, but it's actually the combat is more detailed and more comprehensive in 4 than in 3. So there are better elements to 4 than 3. But if you like the idea of organizing orders of battle with hierarchical chains, and you like the idea, and it's one thing that I was, oh, why am I still in? I want to keep moving. Talking about when I was doing my, just last night, Japanese series episodes, is the idea that I can form a squadron, you know, say, you know, squadron out at the airbase here. Okay, it's going to be number of units, and then before it's even deployed, say, okay, that squadron is going to fly naval, you know, anti-shipping missions out here in the, you know, in this sea region, and so I can do all that at once and then forget that squadron. I love that. Where with Hearts of Iron 3, okay, gotta build. Well, you have the whole building of squadrons in the first place, which is a pain in the ass. But once you get the squadron, okay, it has to fly out here. Then once it's here, then I have to give it a mission perspective. So I have to look at it twice. I can't just look at it once. Like, okay, fly here, fly, you know, naval bomber mission. Boom. Okay, now until I want to shift that squadron either to fly a different sea zone or rebase it, it's going to continuously do its job. I don't have to look at it, touch it, think about it again. I love that in 4. Where in 3, you got a minimum look at it twice. Now, in 3, you have things like how aggressive you want to be, and you do have some of that in 4, and you have more mission types of stuff. So if you like the granularity of 3, and you like clicking all of the stuff, which I sort of do. Okay, now like I'm saying, I don't want to touch, because I'm not a big air unit guy, I really don't want to touch that twice. But organizing orders of battle, yeah, I find that fun. Things like that. So if you like that kind of stuff, I would say play 3 right now. Now, maybe in 2 or 3 years, I would be saying, no, got to play 4 because it's so much better. But if you like the sort of... There's still problems, and we can talk about... The biggest, in my opinion, is still the AI with 4. But if you sort of like this style of making it a little less hands-on, to the whole point of just drawing big, you know, okay, battlefront here, which you notice I don't do, at least for the most part, you know, front line here, stop line here, go fight war. I mean, if you really like that, great. I don't like that. But you don't have to play that way. You can play the way I play. And so if you like this, though, playing that way, play 4. Give it a try. If you don't own 4 or the DLCs yet, fine. Wait until they're on sale. There's been some really good sales. I don't keep track of all of them. So if you're just sort of on 4, I think it's going to be great one day. Find it on a really good sale. Buy it then. That's sort of my encouragement. Otherwise, I am not encouraging you to buy 4 if 4 doesn't look like it meets your needs. And if it really doesn't look like it meets your needs after watching me play for hours, then don't buy it. But if it's sort of like, sort of okay, get it on sale, give it a try. But unless you're really into it, don't buy new DLCs when they first come out. Don't buy because even like Black Ice takes a while for them to integrate new features from DLCs. So don't buy, you know, DLCs when they first come out. Now, I bought the big expansion pack that was for 2 expansions that they've expanded to 4, so I'm getting a really good deal. Anyone who bought that, trust me, economically is getting a good deal. You may not like the expansions, you may not like what they do, but for the money you spent on the expansion pack, you're getting a good deal. But so, you know, if you're liking what they're doing, if it's the game that appeals to you, yeah, buy it new, get on it, play it, have fun. But if it's just like I'm saying, to you, wait for the sale, get it then. And if it's totally not meeting your needs, don't buy it. I'm not a Hearts of Iron 4 salesman, really. Because, hey, we got 3. We can still play 3. National Center for Scientific Research, which is great, which will allow me to research more things. Okay, now, we're not going to do heavy water or research grants, which, well, we sort of want to now that I see that that's a research slot. But, this will help us, I think. We'll wait on that a little bit. We're going to do social reforms. Oh, and yes, one of the reasons we did that was to get a new research slot out. Let's look at, well, no, well, should update some of the production, but part of why I'm still producing out-of-date equipment is because I just don't even have enough equipment. So I am trying my best to get okay, I think we're going to do this, operational integrity. I want to interception. I mostly for air power. I just want to defend France's airspace from German attacks. My goal there. Now the one thing though I do want to look at is, are we? Well, I don't even think we're not even producing any air right now. We just don't have the budget for it. Okay. Yes. The Olympics, that won't happen.
Gardez vos rangs. Bougez-vous. Attention.
Now, although I'm occupying these 2 provinces here, I'm going to also occupy a stop line
Bougez-vous.
behind this river, the Meuse, I believe it is. And yes, I talked to Podcat, and he does agree that he would like to see river names, but quite honestly, I understand it's a low priority.
Attention. Bougez-vous. Gardez vos rangs. Bougez-vous. Aux ordres.
Now we do need to make sure that we defend the Italian border properly.
Gardez vos rangs.
So, okay, so we got social reforms, good. We're not going to go to radical, we're going to go here. I'm hoping to get rid of some of, you know, get some political power and other good things. Without completely disrupting. No, we don't need infantry or mountain division there. Okay. Well, let's put it here in the mountains. We'll leave the standard infantry division there as well, but
gardez vos rangs. Bougez-vous.
Oh, here.
Bougez-vous.
Okay, national unity changes. Our nation is healing, but is still divided. Good. Okay, good. That will help. Let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna build a few more. Military factories. Good. Improve our industry. Still not time for that, and I don't want to waste it on these too much, so let's look to other developments that we can do. Yeah, we'll be good. Oh, too far ahead. Yeah, never mind. Keep thinking it's 1939, and I'm not planning on building any submarines or anything like that. Well, more than what we already are building, and just, I don't mind out-of-date stuff for France in that department. Oh, well now we have a 50%. Oh, well. maybe it'll apply over here. I don't know. Whatever. We are slowly building that up, which is good. Now that isn't a Laffy 50 AMAC picture. That is a Rolls-Royce armored car. But hey, I don't even know what the other one looks like. How are we doing for equipment here? We don't even have we're not producing enough horse or artillery bowling things, artillery trucks. Yeah. It's just continuing to reaffirm my don't build new units. Status quo, good. Now let's see, 49 days support Bloom. What I want to get down to is here too, because that removes the pictures of that. So let's do this. The reason I'm doing this is, well, we're going to continue French Folies and make that. The Gaul strategy was better, but the question is do we have time? I know it's still only 36, but we almost went to war with Germany this year. Again, for those who didn't see the first episode or recently joining, we stood up to the Germans, threatened to go to war over the Rhineland, and they backed down. So the West Wall exists here. Well, some of it exists here, but will not exist here in the Rhineland, so we can attack out. They can only go in once the war starts, so we'll have some benefit there. Oh, well, I think we can now improve our government the way I want to. I want to add a war industrialist here. Good. I haven't moved my motorized army, but that's what I'm thinking about using to come up in here to sort of hold the Rhine line. Some of it would be here, move forward, some of it would be here, so we don't have to cross the rivers. Come up and see if we can hold the Rhine from the Nazis. Yeah, I was going to see, because in the beginning in 36, for all of the problems we're seeing with the current French army, I thought we were more powerful, and I was going to fight them out. But I did make a save, so that if things sort of fell apart, we could go back and go, okay, then say no. And that, you know, if we lost. Okay, the magazine fort raid. Okay, in Dublin, yes, fine. We've looked at that. Okay. Fortification focuses, yes. And so I was quite prepared to see what was going to happen. Because historically, in 36, France would have wiped out Germany if it had been aggressive in its actions. You know, if it was just going to hide behind the Maginot Line, that's a different matter. But Germany had no, in 36, Germany had almost no tanks. I hope you realize that. You know, yes, you can point to, oh yeah, they had the Panzer I in production. Yeah, it had about 150 of them, maybe, Panzer Is, and there were 2 or 3 different models. I'd have to look at my book. That, you know, they'd done like, oh, 50 or 75 of these, you know, and you know, 40 of these, you know, testing out variants. You know, they were still basically the same Panzer I, and that they had, you know, 2 machine guns and a little turret and whatever else. But they were tinkering with the development of it. And so, you know, they had about 150 of those. And in the start of 39, or no, in 36, start of it, they really only just finished, you know, the development and started, you know, of the Panzer II. So we're talking 0 Panzer IIIs and IVs, just, you know, available. Just now starting into limited production of a Panzer II. They had, for the size of their motorized corps, was almost non-existent. So most of their army was, you know, the horse-drawn army. Because you realize even the infantry divisions, as time goes on, and even later and later in the war, they get more and more motorization. Maybe not to the point that, you know, sort of to like, well, we're going to wait a few days here before we pick the next tech. Like Black Ice does semi-motorized divisions, in that they're, you know, some of their logistical support and whatever. So more and more, you know, like, is the artillery horse-drawn or is the artillery truck-drawn? And as the war goes on in Germany, the actual artillery pieces get, for even the regular infantry division, get more truck-drawn. Now that doesn't mean that the division is moving in essence any faster, because the infantry are still walking, and they still, if you look at a lot of the pictures around the food wagons, if you will, Germany, unlike America, well, America did too, but Germany did not have an equivalent of the C ration that I'm sure all of you are at least familiar in concept of what it was. So they basically would sort of bake bread for a couple of days and give that out to troops as sort of a combat ration. That's why German troops carry a bread bag, literally a bread bag, on their uniform loadout, so that they had these sort of cooking wagons that, you know, are they did, you know, could have a towed version behind a truck, but they also had that kind of stuff behind horses, and so that was still going on. Oh, we're waiting. Yeah, we got to remember to wait till 37. So, you know, but in 36, and Germany had only just in 35 started conscription back up again. So it's gone from their, well, it was a 100,000 man army in 33. Once Hitler gets in power, it starts growing slowly, but it's a professional army, small professional army. 35, they reintroduce conscription against the Treaty of Versailles, but they reintroduce that. But that's just starting, and doing that does not mean that they're capable. So, and because I have played as Germany, I thought, well, maybe I can kick their butts with the French army. We were going to find out, but they backed down smartly. Okay, January 1. No waste. Yes. And I know it's going to take that up, but I wanted to use, because I used one over here or wherever it was. I don't know. Yes. Okay, we are slowly, well, let's take a quick look here. We are slowly adding factories here, which means more and more of these things are getting into production. But let's move these up to the top. And these up to the top. What? Hitting the wrong one. There we go. So that they will be next. No, we're not making those, and okay, we're going to do the but we're going to move. No. Right now, I'm just producing field uniforms. Are we to a positive number yet? We weren't before, if I remember correctly. No, we're only 5,000 down about. We're producing 18 a day, so I don't want to disrupt that production. I'd rather have 18 out-of-date uniforms a day than 10 to date. Okay, keep that going. So we're going to continue with producing more and more military factories. Yes, Champagne here would be a better place to build, but it's also a little closer to the front, so we'll hold out longer here. Okay, Fortification Focus. Now we were trying to get to here to remove that Great War Victors thing. So levy en masse. That goes back to the French Revolution of basically, they were in the 18th century sense. France, because it, we can look at other periods of history and different regions, but France was the first company to do mass conscription for armies. Yes, Frederick the Great was conscripting about everybody he could, but it wasn't quite the levy en masse. We can look at that kind of thing, but he was still trying to do a professional army. Or we can do Grand Battery, which artillery support, research artillery support battalion. Let's do this. But want to get rid of this national experience recruitment, mostly for the land doctrines, because I want to be able to do land doctrines. Land doctrines matter a lot. Force rotation. Now, will we be allowed to? Well, we're continuing down this path. Probably would have been better to do the other, but whatever. One more day, and great. And we're going to come over here, or here. Slows down civilian, but we get more and more stuff produced out of what we already have scheduled. I've seen this before where Germany wants to put a lot of units here to try to break through right here. We have to be able to hold the Italians, because it doesn't matter if we hold the Germans, but the Italians, you know, plunge through us. But also, conversely, it doesn't matter if we hold the Italians and the Germans get to Paris. You know, they both matter. Okay, there's an empty province right there. So we you know, what I think we're going to do here is recruit another We don't have enough equipment for, but got that. Oh, okay. 3 dockyards. Well. Okay, that uses up. But what are we going to do after that point? Well, once we get those, the Richelieu fast battleship and the Strasbourg, where do we have destroyers? Are they up here? One of these things? The Rome class, what is that? Don't know. Oh, here we go. We're gonna, oh, you're sure you want to, no, cancel. Oh, it's still on switching and not new stuff. We want to build DDs. Destroyers. We're not even, well, okay, since we're building none of these, okay, so let's, sometimes I forget to do this. Let's switch to these are the new ones, right? Are we right? Oh man, see how well I know this? I know it so well. Know everything. Don't have to look anything up when it comes to France. Yeah, okay, it's the 405. So we are going to convert this to the 405. Might as well do that now since we're not producing any. And this, I believe, has been superseded. Again, I want to look it up. Sorry. The MB-210 medium bomber, I presume, or French words to that effect. There we go. We might as well also update recon equipment, even though we're not yet producing any. And that's a 155mm cannon. Since we're not, again, we don't have any experience in building these currently. It's all atrophied. We'll do that. Okay, well there we go. We're much more up to date on those things. Here I'm just trying to produce enough in numbers. Here because we are fully set up to do that, and here as well. Just get uniforms. Okay, levy en masse. Now this is 49 days. Then we'll go back to some like political developments. Cars, good. Now we've got that. Well, let's come over here. We still have, do we? Yes, this will help our civilian civilian factory build speed. All buildings as well. So you notice my understanding is you have civilian factory plus 2%, all buildings plus 3%, military factories minus 2%. So the military factories will get a bonus of 1% because all buildings. I'm presuming that unless they mean, it doesn't say, I'm taking all buildings to be all buildings, but it may be things like air bases. I'm not sure, but I think it's all buildings. So I think it's like just a 1% bonus, but it would be a total of 5% for the factories, I think. So yeah, because global, yeah, it says all buildings constructions be global stats. So that's, so we want to do that. Okay, radios. They're still in 39 or in 37, March, fairly early. We'll see about a couple of these once we get rid of that World War I effect. That would not be a bad time amount. Even doing it now. If we wait, it'll be quicker, better. So let's see what else we can. $37. So now we can do a light bomber type. Obviously this is not a light bomber, this is more like one of these guys, but they're just throwing in images. Don't blame them. France is low priority compared to, say, Germany. And as I was asked earlier by JBC, the difference between 3 and 4 is still very much a work in progress. You can clearly see where they're going with, at least I can. I will admit some of that maybe just because I know what's sort of going on. Yeah, there's more factories. Okay guys, on the stream, don't go anywhere. We're just going to be ending the episode, not the stream. So, and as I'm saying that, you all know on YouTube land, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for liking the episode. I really do appreciate that. And of course, please post questions, comments, suggestions, ideas, corrections, because hey, I sort of kind of know what was going on with France, but a lot of things I'm sure I'm getting wrong. So if you've got corrections, please post them below. And hey, you know, obviously if you're the first one here, you're not gonna, watching this on YouTube is not gonna help. But if you do check out the comment section below, because often, not always, but often there are people who are posting, whether it's corrections or just additional information, that can be very interesting to you history buffs. So check that out, and I really hope that this channel is a learning process. And I know at least one viewer has stated that passing, I don't know exactly which examinations on World War II in history, but watching my channel, he says helped them out, and I felt very good about that. So people do learn from this, and that's what I'm hoping for. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.